The Oozaru, or great ape, is a giant humanoid gorilla-like creature with brown fur and red glowing eyes that the Saiyans of Universe 7 can transform into, increasing their tremendous power by 10-folds. However, for most, this comes at the cost of losing all sense of themselves and entering a berserk state upon transforming. Elite Saiyans like Vegeta can be trained to maintain consciousness and even control over the Oozaru form, while low-level warriors like Raditz simply can't, which for the most part made this form a last resort weapon and not something most Saiyans can reliably rely on. This transformation is very similar to how werewolves undergo theirs, mainly because it requires them to be exposed to a full moon, or to be more specific, the Saiyan must look directly at said moon for an extended period of time. This happens because a Saiyan needs to absorb at least 17 million Xeno units of Blutz waves through the retina of the eyes to initiate the transformation. Blutz waves are a form of radiation emitted by a full moon after reflecting sunlight, but also these waves can be emitted by different satellites, whether natural, artificial, or even energy-based like we saw Vegeta do in the Saiyan saga. Unlike werewolves, however, this transformation requires the Saiyan to still have his tail, as the biochemical glands responsible for initiating the transformation are located exclusively there. Cutting off the tail renders the Saiyan unable to transform, and in fact, a great way to deal with the Oozaru is to simply cut its tail, in addition to destroying or hiding the satellite, which would instantly reverse the transformation. Finally, Saiyans who lost their tail might spontaneously regrow it like Gohan did many times as a kid. However, they lose this ability once their base power level surpasses that of their Oozarus, which explains why Goku, Vegeta, and later Gohan never regrew tails after increasing their power levels past a certain degree. The Super Saiyan is an iconic transformation utilized by members and hybrids of the Saiyan race that have sufficient amounts of S cells in their bodies. Once considered to be nothing but a legend, the transformation is recognizable through yellowish golden hair, teal blue eyes, and immense aura with a slight muscle mass increase. What isn't subtle, however, is the power level boost, as the transformation grants a whopping 50 times multiplier to the user. An insane increase that Vegeta said can only be reached through transforming, meaning a Saiyan cannot achieve such insane boost in their regular state. That was before the Dragon Ball Z Battle of Gods movie where God Ki and State were introduced. Once a Saiyan achieves a certain power level and has accumulated enough S cells, he can become a Super Saiyan, and usually an emotional distress like rage or sadness act as the trigger. However, it should be noted that the transformation is unlocked through a need and not a desire, which would explain why arrogant and selfish Saiyans like Vegeta struggled with it, while Saiyans of Universe 6 seem to have an easier time achieving this iconic transformation. Saiyans are also capable of passing down S cells to their offspring, making it much easier for the next generation of Saiyans to acquire this power, as was the case with Goten and Trunks. Furthermore, this transformation has 4 grades or stages, the first of which is simply the default state upon transforming. Then there is Grade 2, which was first achieved by Vegeta and Trunks after training in the hyperbolic time chamber, where every nerve is concentrated, sending ki through the body to inflate the muscles, raising power tremendously as well as increasing speed, but not to the same extent. From there, the third grade is an extreme form of the previous, where the muscles are further inflated to the point of harnessing all strength and stamina reserves. And even though the power increase is quite astonishing, the bulk resulting from the inflated muscles result in inhibiting mobility greatly, rendering this grade extremely sluggish and totally not practical. Cell stated that unlike the unexperienced Trunks, Vegeta wasn't naive enough to actually try this grade, despite achieving it too due to its glaring weakness, which was the case too for Goku, who immediately understood the unpracticality of the third grade. And finally, the fourth grade, which is the complete mastery over the Super Saiyan transformation, achieved by Goku and Gohan in the same arc by conditioning themselves to remain transformed for extended periods of time, even outside of fights, hell even while sleeping. This completely desensitized the Saiyans to the negative effects of the transformation, keeping their wild emotions in check and allowing for a better use of the power granted by being super while reserving stamina, making this grade the most practical and most efficient of all the grades, despite the third grade granting far more power. Pseudo Super Saiyan, a transformation exclusive only to Dragon Ball Z Lord Slug movie, and the intended Super Saiyan before the latter has been finalized by Akira Toriyama in the Dragon Ball manga. As such, many similarities can be drawn between the pseudo and the finalized form, including the yellowish aura, the muscle mass increase, and the spikiness of the hair, although it is missing its iconic goldish color. The impossible fusion of a Super Saiyan and the Spirit Bomb. Given the rageful nature of the original Super Saiyan form, one is unable to accumulate energy for the Spirit Bomb technique. And thus, to attain this form, a Saiyan must gather energy and absorb it into his body before going Super, as was the case with Goku against Super Android 13. This resulted in a huge power boost, and for the aura to intensify to such a degree that Android 13 was unable to even approach Goku. However, the latter was unconscious due to the intensity of the energy he absorbed. Super Saiyan 2, or the Ascended Super Saiyan, is the direct successor to the first transformation, being very similar in terms of appearance with spikier hair and the addition of lightning rods pulsing throughout the aura. But more importantly, this transformation grants 100 times power multiplier from the user's base form, or double the power of regular Super Saiyan. Future Trunks notes that this form is superior to the third grade, in that it greatly increases strength without the loss of speed. And the trigger for this transformation varies from one character to another, with emotional distress being the most common trigger. However, this form cannot be unlocked unless a condition is met, which is the Saiyan's full mastery over the Super Saiyan transformation, or by other words, achieving grade 4, with Gohan and Caulifla being the only exceptions where both achieved this form very early for few seconds before they reverted back to regular Super Saiyan. Super Saiyan 3. As the name suggests, this is the third form of Super Saiyan and the successor to the second transformation, which is a prerequisite to achieving this form. Recognizable by the extremely long hair and the Saiyan losing his eyebrows, but other than this it's quite similar to Super Saiyan 2, with the same muscle mass, aura, and electric pulses, albeit much cooler and iconic. The whole purpose of this transformation is the complete utilization of key reserves, as it draws the hidden power of its user out to his limits, increasing power by 4 folds over Super Saiyan 2, making it a 400 times multiplier to the Saiyan's base form. This tremendous power increase, however, comes at a very costly drawback, which is the insane power consumption and stamina drain, as this transformation often leaves the Saiyan completely fatigued for a while, even after powering down, making it somewhat conditional, where it's perfect for ending battles quick, but as the fight drags on it becomes a double-edged sword. And we've seen this in the fight with Kid Buu, where even with the help of Vegeta holding down Buu, Goku couldn't regain any energy and was forced to power down, leaving him completely drained, while on the other hand Vegeta, who was Super Saiyan 2, fought for much longer and got beaten much harder, yet he was in a better shape. The ultimate form, or potential unleashed, is not technically a transformation, but rather a state that is accessible to someone who has his latent potential unlocked, which in Gohan's case was done by Old Kai's unlockability. When it comes to appearance, Gohan Ultimate can barely be differentiated from his normal state, with the only difference being his somewhat spikier hair while being Ultimate. The difference in power, however, is so massive that even though he could, Gohan no longer needs to tap into any Super Saiyan transformation, as all of his power is unlocked. Usually this state doesn't grant a huge power boost, but due to Gohan's insanely massive dormant power, in his ultimate state he's said to be stronger than Super Saiyan 3 Goku, making him by far the strongest character by the end of the Buu saga. Golden Great Ape or Super Great Ape is simply the equivalent of going Super Saiyan while in the Oozaru form, thus it is only accessible to Saiyans who have tails and can go Super, which explains the appearance, that of a great ape but with a golden yellowish fur. In addition to having all the abilities and perks of the regular Oozaru, the power and strength of a Saiyan increase drastically while in this form, far surpassing that of the Super Saiyan 3 transformation. But just like how their power increases, rage increases as well, completely consuming their minds as the Berserker state intensifies. However, upon gaining control over this form, and the Saiyan regains consciousness, a new form is born. Super Saiyan 4. Despite the name, Super Saiyan 4 is not an ascended transformation to Super Saiyan 3, nor does it even fall under the same category. This transformation is actually a combination of the Super Saiyan and Great Ape, and as I explained earlier, it is only achieved when a Saiyan gains full control over the Golden Oozaru. In this form, a Saiyan retains his humanoid posture and size, however he is fully covered in red fur with the exception to the chest, has a red tail and a red eyeshadow-like effect. Moreover, the hair remains black and grows substantially long, and also the Saiyan gain a primal look and feel. Much like the original Super Saiyan, this transformation also has a full power grade, which is only achievable once a Saiyan transcends his limits by accumulating enough Saiyan power, usually taken from other Saiyans. There, his appearance remains the same, but a red glow radiates from his full body, and his power increases tremendously. The Super Saiyan God is the legend among legends of the warrior race, the power to rival even gods of destruction. Now, unlike what you'd expect from a transformation with such a heavy name, It's rather basic in design, with the Saiyan seemingly being in his base form, albeit more relaxed, overall slimmer and with red hair and eyes. For Goku, the hair is shifting towards magenta, while Vegeta had a crimson red hair. And finally, the aura resembles reddish-orange flames. Super Saiyan God is the only transformation that has two means of attaining it. First, through a ritual where 5 Saiyans with righteous hearts give their energy and pour their hearts into a sixth. There, a blue hue engulfs the Saiyans. Then it collects in the heart of the Chosen One as he ascends and transforms. Then, given the nature of the transformation, it is also achieved when a Saiyan learns how to harness God Ki, which is achieved by raising one's power and Ki, but at the same time containing said Ki within and stopping it from leaking out. Beyond the transformation methods, these two types also have two key differences. First, the ritual transformation calls out the Saiyan as he becomes stronger with time, while on the other hand, the other transformation seems to have a stable power level. And the second difference is the Ki consumption, where the ritual Super Saiyan God drains Ki far faster than the one achieved through training. When it comes to how strong this transformation really is, we don't have an exact figure, but it's at least many dozens of magnitudes stronger than Super Saiyan 3, where in his battle with Beerus, Goku was knocked out with just 2 hits as a Super Saiyan 3, but in this transformation he was able for the very least entertain the God of Destruction. The old Kai also stated that the clash between Goku and Beerus's punches could break everything in the universe. This could be attributed to Beerus's destroyer Ki, but the fact that Super Saiyan God Goku was able to match those punches, meaning we can assume he is on the universal scale of power for the very least, which is terrifyingly more powerful than any other Saiyan transformation up until this point. Finally, this transformation should not be confused with a Saiyan beyond God, which is a state where the person has absorbed or attained God Ki in his base form. But despite this adaptability, others still can sense the Saiyan's Ki, meaning it's not a true transformation, but rather an elevated state. Super Saiyan Blue. To fully explain Super Saiyan Blue or Super Saiyan God Super Saiyan, we gotta get back to Saiyan beyond God. Once a Saiyan has adapted to God Ki, Super Saiyan Blue becomes his version of Super Saiyan. In a sense, it's just a Saiyan with God Ki going super. There he takes the same look as a regular Super Saiyan with one key difference. The eyes, hair, and aura are all light blue instead of the yellowish gold look for a Super Saiyan. Also, unlike the regular transformation, Super Saiyan Blue doesn't engulf the Saiyan's heart in rage, nor does it make him more vengeful or prideful. Rather, much like with the Super Saiyan God transformation, the Saiyan seems to be calm, collected, and even at ease, which seems to be an effect of the God Ki. Before talking about how strong Super Saiyan Blue is, it should be noted that at first the transformation was said to cost a significant amount of stamina just to tap into it, which explains why the Saiyans tend to not jump to it immediately. This in addition to the fact that in terms of speed, it seems to be the same as Super Saiyan God. However, in terms of power, Super Saiyan Blue is hinted at to be stronger than Super Saiyan God, but the increase is not really defined, and from the looks of it, it's not the stable times 50 multiplier either. Rather, the forms start close in power. Then the more Goku and Vegeta mastered the Super Saiyan Blue, the more it became stronger, and thus the more the gap increased. Case in point with Vegeta's fight against Goku Black, where he lost first, then completely dominated him after training. And at the end of Dragon Ball Super, the difference in power is really apparent. Now, exclusive to the anime, this transformation actually has 2 different grades, one belonging to Goku, which is the Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken, and the other to Vegeta, and is labeled Evolution, which is said to be Vegeta breaking the limits of Super Saiyan Blue. In a sense, a Kaioken of his own. There, his hair and aura darkens a bit, he gets bulkier, and his eyes become more defined with a glitter effect. While in the manga, we have only a secondary grade to this form, which is mastered Super Saiyan Blue. There, the transformation is at its most powerful and consumes very little stamina, making it far more potent and much more practical. In design, the only difference being the absence of aura, meaning no ki is leaking from the Saiyan, and hence the mastered state. Super Saiyan Rosé is the counterpart to Super Saiyan Blue, and appears when the Saiyan has true divine ki, meaning it is only possible when a deity attains a Saiyan body. In our case, Zamasu taking Goku's body and power. Being the counterpart to Super Saiyan Blue, this transformation matches it in power, speed, and other properties, but with few key differences in appearance. Mainly, as the name suggests, the hair and eyes are pink, and the aura is purple engulfed in dark pink hue. And as a final note, unlike Super Saiyan Blue, this transformation wasn't shown to have any secondary grades or tiers, but that could be attributed to Zamasu's inexperience with the Saiyan body. The Berserk state is an extremely potent power boost that breaks one's limit and grants tremendous strength, sometimes far beyond what other transformations offer. This comes as no surprise given the fact that it is fueled by rage, which is the most common trigger for most of the Saiyan's transformations. The power boost is not consistent, nor does the Saiyan undergo any morphological changes, thus this isn't really considered a transformation, but rather a state. However, due to how huge the power boost can get, it is essential we talk about it. Berserk Super Saiyan 2 Vegeta was able to amass more power than Super Saiyan 3 Goku against Beerus, being able to tank Beerus's hit and even land multiple of his own, making this Berserk moment at least a 5 times power multiplier to Super Saiyan 2. While in another instant against Cell, the Berserk power boost was still inferior to Super Saiyan 2 Gohan, and thus less than a double of a multiplier, which means, as I mentioned before, the power boost is not consistent in the slightest. Super Saiyan Rage. In this transformation, Trunks seems the same as Super Saiyan 2, but with bulkier build, spikier hair, and more pronounced bioelectricity pulses. In a sense, the transformation looks like a fusion between Grade 2 and Super Saiyan 2, but with a key difference: the dual aura. Within the gold-like aura of regular Super Saiyan, Trunks exerts a bluish aura that emits particles much like Super Saiyan Blue. The power increase of the Super Saiyan Rage state allowed future Trunks to hold his own against Super Saiyan Rosé Goku Black and even push him to be defensive, which means this transformation puts Trunks on the level of Super Saiyan Blue. This, in addition to the similarity in aura, suggests that Trunks has unintentionally adapted to God Ki due to his prolonged exposure to it from either Goku, Vegeta, or even Goku Black. And while this was never stated, the only transformations shown to grant such a massive power multiplier over Super Saiyan is in fact the God transformation, but this remains only speculation. Moreover, Trunks was able to further power up through the energy of the remaining humans scattered on Earth, becoming a special Spirit Bomb Super Saiyan and gaining a massive power boost that enabled him to defeat fused Zamasu with ease. Continuing with the rage-related transformations, Wrathful is a state used exclusively by Broly, where he was able to tap into his great ape strength, but without the full-body transformation. Instead, he remained in his humanoid form. This state initially grants Broly a golden aura that quickly becomes a vibrant green, and his hair also spikes up like that of a Super Saiyan, but without the gold-like color. Instead, it's his eyes that turn yellow. The Wrathful state also grants an immense power boost that took Broly from not being able to even getting close to Super Saiyan God Vegeta to overpowering it and even fighting on equal terms with Super Saiyan Blue. Legendary Super Saiyan. As the name suggests, this is a being of immense power spoken of in the legends of the warrior race, a Saiyan that appears only once every 1,000 years, and with him comes an insanely powerful but very rare Super Saiyan transformation, which carries the same name as the wielder. Note that this transformation also has 2 additional names. In the 2018 Dragon Ball movie labeled Broly, it is simply referred to as Full Power Super Saiyan, while in Dragon Ball Super with Kale it is called Super Saiyan Berserk. In this form, the Saiyan appears as if he is Super Saiyan Grade 3, with a dramatic increase in muscle mass, especially in the case of Kale. The iris disappears, and the hair spikes up. But instead of the gold-yellowish look, it takes a green coloring, which comes in different shades depending on the source material or the character. The multiplier for this transformation remains ambiguous, but it is believed that the power-up isn't fixed and rather differs from one Saiyan to another, and it's even affected by how rageful or wrathful the Saiyan is upon transforming. However, it should be noted that being extremely powerful is a hallmark of the legendary Super Saiyan, as their attacks are often accompanied with ripples that travel throughout space-time. And Broly, while not even in his legendary form, was far stronger than both Goku and Vegeta in their Super Saiyan Blue forms. And Gogeta needed to ascend to Super Saiyan Blue in order to defeat full-power Super Saiyan Broly. Although once Gogeta went blue, the battle became completely one-sided, suggesting that Broly was not close to that level of power. The Ultra Instinct is a technique where your body essentially gains a mind of his own. Originally described by Whis as a highly advanced and extremely powerful technique that any being can theoretically attain, but angels are born with. Later, Ultra Instinct was acquired by Goku as an incomplete transformation called Ultra Instinct Sign, or Omen, through him breaking his own limits, which put an extreme strain on his body, causing him to lose the form multiple times, even after he mastered it in his fight with Jiren. The essence of this extremely hard-to-master technique is to have the body move on its own without requiring one's thought to control it. This enables the fighter to dodge most attacks with relative ease, and with minimum body movements that don't leave him vulnerable to consecutive attacks. This obviously is limited by the user's speed, but also the more skilled of a fighter he is, the more this technique becomes easier to attain and master. This form's incredibly hard learning curve stems from the fact that one needs to completely empty both his head and heart of any thoughts or emotions, and completely engulfs himself in the fight. Something easier said than done, or in some cases it's straight up near impossible for Saiyans like Vegeta, whom nerves are always on the edge. In his unmastered form, Goku appears to be in his base form with no change in his muscle mass or look, although he seems more serious with more defined pupils and gray irises. Some strains of his hair spike up a bit, and an incredible gray wavy aura engulfs the Saiyan with strains of particles ascending throughout the body. In this unmastered state, Goku can perform the signature dodges associated with Ultra Instinct, and he has more power than Super Saiyan Blue, but as we stated, his attacks are not as potent as they can possibly be in this transformation, due to it being incomplete. Upon full mastery, Goku's hair turns silver matching his eyes, and his aura becomes more intense, and much like his dodges that are second nature in this form, his attacks also become almost entirely instinctive and pack insane destructive power behind them. After fully mastering the transformation, the Saiyan later can access the Ultra Instinct state in any form he desires from base all the way up to blue, making it a very useful technique. But the Saiyan is considerably weaker and slower than in the designated form, meaning the speed limitation to Ultra Instinct is more apparent in other transformations. Ultra Ego is a powerful transformation used exclusively by Vegeta in the Dragon Ball Super manga. He attained this form after an intense training under Beerus, who taught Vegeta the ways of the gods of destruction. When in his Ultra Ego form, Vegeta's body seems to be the same, but his face gains the Super Saiyan 3 look, with no eyebrows or any facial hair for that matter. His hair turns tyrant purple, and his pupils become more defined with purple irises. His aura flames on with a vibrant purple color, and much like the name suggests, Vegeta's demeanor becomes that of a cocky, full-of-himself person. This transformation is the counterpart to Ultra Instinct, where the latter completely removes any thought and emotions from one's mind and heart. Ultra Ego, on the other hand, indulges the user in his own emotions, fueling his power and strength from the strong emotions one feels during a battle, like pain, rage, pride, and of course, ego. This way, the more the fight drags on, the more Vegeta gets powerful. Any frustration, any rage, or any sustained damage is turned into power that makes Vegeta stronger and stronger. In a sense, this power is truly unbounded, as it keeps on rising without limit, so long his endurance keeps up with the sustained damage, as in no way, shape, or form does this transformation grant Vegeta invincibility. It should be noted this power is originally for gods of destructions and their candidates, where they get engulfed in their bloodlust and love for destruction, and was harnessed by Vegeta after the latter started experiencing Hakai. This means Goku is following in the angel's path with Ultra Instinct, while Vegeta is taking on the path of gods of destruction with Ultra Ego. Beast Gohan is a transformation that is exclusive to Gohan, as the name suggests, and is the evolved form of Gohan's ultimate state, meaning it too was born from Gohan's near-limitless potential and power. In this transformation, Gohan's hair spikes up extremely, similar to Super Saiyan 2, but in this case it gets even longer. But more noticeably, it takes a silver shade similar to Ultra Instinct, with his eyebrows becoming white. His irises turn red with defined black pupils, and his aura becomes dual, much like Super Saiyan Rage, with the outer aura remaining the same bluish-white we got used to, while the inner aura is a bright reddish magenta that resembles that of Super Saiyan Rosé. Beast Gohan is probably the transformation that holds the biggest power boost in the series' history, and perfectly reflects Gohan's near-infinite potential, as through this form he was able to bridge the gap from his ultimate form to not just Super Saiyan Blue, but to even Ultra Instinct, Ultra Ego, and Super Saiyan Broly, making Gohan the fourth Saiyan to achieve a power near that of a god of destruction. So that's the list for you guys. Every Saiyan transformation in OG Dragon Ball Z, GT, and Super. Please let me know what is your favorite transformation in the comments below, and until next time, thank you for watching.